Hey everyone and welcome. You know that the government has backdoor put in place a sentencing guideline straight out of segregation era insanity. And yes, it's definitely government backed as far as I'm concerned. I don't care how hard they try and deny it. This lot didn't come up with this. I think the state needed to kick the thing down the road. So they invented a judicial spat. Ta-da! Years of arguing, that's what this will entail. All the while, the judges will be rolling it in.
And I do believe that we have rotten politics, and I'm not using that as an exaggeration.
We've got a racist sentencing guidelines that are to make sure ethnic minorities, if you didn't know, get a favoured sentence because of colour, and women and gay people, etc, etc, etc. All of the protected classes. Discrimination against white men, rather than fix a problem. Effectively, an attempt to pudge the statistics, isn't it? Muddy the water. Now the media have come out in full support of this, and they're in full swing trying to paint discrimination, which is what it is, as a good thing, and why we should all want to be treated worse because of our land and who we are. This is the BBC's main programme, justifying blatant anti-white racism as far as I'm concerned. Have a listen and see if you agree. Now reverse the races of this whole conversation before it plays, and realise just how far this nation's gone.
Can you just explain what is the problem that the Sentencing Council was trying to fix?
Okay, so very simple situation. In the UK, undisputed fact, everyone agrees on this. Ethnic minorities spend longer in prison. There's more ethnic minorities in prison proportionally, and we spend longer in prison than white people. And so the question was, how do we fix this system?
For the same offence?
So I'll get to that. Okay, so everyone wants to get that number down. They think that's a problem. And one of the ways in which people thought that they could possibly solve the problem was by considering the lives of ethnic minorities before they sentenced them. And by doing so, maybe then they'd reduce the sentences. And this made everyone, well, not everyone, made some people really angry because they said this creates a two-tier justice system in the UK.
Which it 100% will, and he knows it will. But he won't say as much because his income relies on the appearance of racism, doesn't it? All of these people make a fortune out of saying these things, even though, technically, we have laws against all of it. None of them are enforced, though. Let's continue.
I find such language utterly ridiculous. I find it to be a completely silly thing to say that such legislation would create a two-tier justice system because, as you were alluding to, there's already a two-tier justice system in the UK, and that is the problem. It's not just that ethnic minorities are imprisoned for longer, it's that everyone who has ever studied this in any serious quantitative ways knows that ethnic minorities spend longer in prison for the same crime.
It was Theresa May that wanted to have an investigation into this and got...
They judged on the content of the character, not the colour of the skin. Remember when all of that was a thing? Now, they want to be treated better because of the colour of the skin. Full circle, everyone.
David Lammy to look at it.
David Lammy did look into it. Yeah. I think the Lammy report was very interesting, and it said that the people spend longer in prison and these cannot be explained by other things. But there is research, I've done it myself, in which you just take the same crime and you swap out the name, so you make it sound like a white person did it or an ethnic minority did it. Yeah. And when you do that and you present the crimes to people in the UK, they perceive the ethnic minority as worse, as guiltier, as more dangerous, and they want...
What people? Name the people, show the proof. We're waiting, aren't we?
Put them in prison for longer, and this translates into longer prison sentences.
But then in trying to deal with it, you have a list of characteristics which qualify for a pre-sentencing report, including being an ethnic minority, which raises the question, well, why would you not get it if you weren't an ethnic minority? And that's what this trial's about.
I think we should take a step back. So the first thing is, what do we do with the two-tier system we already have? And there are a couple of options on the table. Option one, we ignore it. We leave it as it is and do nothing. Now, I hate that option because that just leads to more discrimination in the justice system, so that's bad. So the suggestion now on the table is, now if you're going to sentence an ethnic minority, you should read a bit about their background first.
And why would they need to do that unless it's a victim culture and it's not my fault, honest, it was because of XXXXX that wasn't me. Sick of hearing this. There's no accountability in the world anymore, is there? No accountability. You do a crime, you do the time. Doesn't matter about your skin colour. Well, it does now.
I don't mind that. I'm not convinced it's a very effective solution. Okay. So it doesn't make me angry, but I do think that if we wanted to narrow that sentencing discrepancy, this isn't a particularly effective way.
So there you go. They're basically saying that it should be a thing that we judge based on colour of your skin as well as the content of your character, and that's a good thing all of a sudden. Horseshoe theory, isn't it? They've just gone round in a big circle. We're just going round and round and round, doing the same crap over and over and over again. And they're doing it under the guise of fixing things. Progress, don't you know? Let me know what you think. Like to know your opinion. Stay sane. See you on the next one.